button. Hi viewers, welcome to my channel MindCraft. Today with me on the channel is Dr. Simi Sachdeva, who is a practicing psychiatrist in UK, and she would help us and she would guide us a little bit on the need of psychologist or a psychiatrist in one's life, which all of you have been every now and then asking me. So with her rich experience of 25 years, we can take some guidance from Simi. Simi, thank you so much for taking out time for us and talking to me and helping my viewers and subscribers to understand the need of psychiatrist or the need of a psychologist in one's life. If you can put some light on this.
Sure. Thank you very much for having me on your channel. So basically, I personally, I took up psychiatry many years back when people thought becoming a psychiatrist was also not the done thing.
Right.
My mother was also quite hesitant about the fact that I was going to do psychiatry, but I find it as a very enriching profession because you're able to help people who are unable to at times see how they can help themselves.
Right.
And at times when you are going through a difficult time or a difficult patch, when you're struggling with a mental disorder, everything can seem quite dark and hopeless. And that is when you need a psychiatrist or a psychologist who can make you see things a little bit differently. The main difference, obviously, between a psychologist and a psychiatrist is that the psychologists tend to do more of talking therapies. There are different kind of therapies that are available nowadays. And the psychologist can be specialized in a particular kind of therapy, or they might do a more varied kind of therapy as well. The psychiatrists have the other advantage that they can prescribe medications as well, besides being able to do counseling and therapy as well as that. So depending on the person's needs, they can go to the different people, either a counselor or a psychologist or a psychiatrist. And I personally think that it can be very helpful. I mean, I have spoken to my colleagues when I've had a difficult time, and I have sought help as well. And many of my friends do come to me quite frequently when they want to sort of have a neutral view about things, and and see how I can help them. So I think that it is a very important thing to take care of your mind as well as your body. We are all focusing on fitness, but we forget the mental well-being or the mental fitness compared to the physical fitness, and I think that's equally important.
Right. And Simi, people are very hesitant still in India. Like if on my channel, if you have seen, there are two girls who are talking. One is saying it is a taboo. One is saying it is not a taboo. So one is even not come up on the video because parents would see or the friends would see that she's seeking help. So what can we tell them?
So, I mean, it is a known fact that there are a lot of constraints in India and in society in general, in other places as well, where people don't feel as comfortable talking about mental health or mental illness. I think part of the reason is some people think it's a sign of weakness. In other parts of India, or in various parts of the world, it is considered taboo to talk about things which are meant to be kept within the family, especially when there are issues like sexual abuse that have happened within the family. तो घर की बात है, घर में रहने दो kind of attitude exists very much so in the Asian subcontinent. So I think these are the kind of problems we do face quite a lot, and people don't end up seeking the help at the right time, and many of them, it becomes quite severe by the time they actually seek help. I think it is quite helpful that many celebrities are coming out and talking about their own struggles with mental illness, and I think that is opening up avenues for people to feel that yes, if they can have a problem, so can we, kind of thing. I think there is more of a need for media to highlight this issue as well, and for like for example, the work you are doing, whether there are options to have pamphlets or leaflets in communal areas, in the universities, in schools, that this is a number you can call, or this is the person you can contact, or this website is somewhere you can get some additional help if you want to speak to someone. Those kind of awarenesses we need to do, and we also need to have mental health mental health awareness in schools and colleges as well,
Right.
so that people understand much earlier on that what they are going through is not just normal sadness or normal grief, or
True.
they're not, I mean, for them to understand that these symptoms are something is not right.
Right. And
That's quite important.
instead of talking to relatives and friends, this is what I've been always telling my candidates, that instead of talking to friends or relatives and then finding more of a problem and trouble, it is better to seek help from a professional where it will be confidential. And see me,
Absolutely.
and I would like to mention to my viewers today that even when I need, I definitely talk to Simi, and there is no hesitation, because I know I'm talking to a professional. Definitely, I'm getting some guidance and help, which helps keep me mentally healthy. And my mental diet, if I can say, that becomes very good if we can vent out and we can talk to somebody who can give us guidance and help. So
And I think it can also happen when you speak to friends and family. They might not be entirely neutral about the situation.
yes.
They might have their own biases.
Yeah.
And that can always create a problem then, because they might be working from that bias that they
Yeah.
have. For example, if you're having a marital problem and the friend had always told you, oh, this person is not right for you. So
Mm.
then they will be operating from that bias.
True, true.
Or if it is a question of, for example, sexual abuse within the family, and you go and confide in your sister, for example, or your mother about an uncle, she might say, "Are ghar ki badnami hogi. People
Correct.
will talk
True.
about it. It would be the family will be shamed. So you must not talk about those kind of things." So those kind of constraints tend to come up quite a lot. So it's always better to go to somebody who can be more neutral for you.
Yes, yes. And I have a lot of clients where this sexual abuse has happened. And if they tell mother or the grandmother, they are not ready to accept, they're not ready to
Mm.
acknowledge, because of this, because they want everything to be inside. Nobody should know about it. So we
And I
have
think the other problem we also have in India is that we have quite a patriarchal society. So if it is a male member of the family who's perpetuated it, it becomes even more of a taboo thing, that you cannot bring shame to a elder person in the family, whether it's a grandfather or uncle or brother-in-law or whatever. You need
yes.
to think about what would happen to that marriage, what will happen. It'll break the family apart. You must never
Mhm.
talk about it again. So those kind of pressures come in quite a lot then.
And they're living in their trauma. Singh, there is one client who told me this sexual abuse, and but after that she says, I don't want to talk about my past, so how I am, let me be, so in that case, what should we guide them?
So it is all right if you don't want to talk about the trauma, because some people do find it difficult, but it is about how you can prevent the trauma from leading a happy life. So
Hmm.
then you have to then start learning skills that you can look past the trauma and build upon a different life that you want to live. There is a therapy called dialectical behavior therapy, which essentially focuses on this kind of thing, that people who are not ready to talk about the trauma, but how can they learn skills that will help them lead a purposeful and fruitful life eventually. It's called having a life worth living.
Right.
So again, there are various kind of skills you learn in that therapy. So those are the kind of things people can do when they don't want to talk about the trauma.
Right, right. So we can put them for those therapies. So this awareness is very important, Simi, and thank you so much for taking out time from your busy schedule on a
Not
weekday.
a problem at all. Thank you. It was good to
Thank
see you.
Same here, Simi. Thank you so much for talking and giving this awareness. Okay.
Thank you.
All